watch it come like blasting through the speakers or something?
On Facebook or YouTube?
On all the places. It should be in the group. Okay, I think it's working.
Yep, it popped up on the phone.
Cool. All right. We are here for another live NLP/hypnosis session, and I'm really excited about it because these are always really cool. Like last week's was really cool. So I'm joined by Christiana. Do you want to go by Christiana or Christy? Do you have a preference?
I don't. I mean, it's you say Christiana and you don't say Christina. It's fine.
Okay. I'm glad I didn't like royally screw that up.
Yeah, I'm always happy about that. Like, oh yes, they said it right.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I know you saw this last week, so you kind of have an idea. I will like give the, I guess, disclaimer that every single one's different. And so I can't remember what techniques were used last week. But either way, it'll be whatever works best for you based on whatever it is that you're going through. So I guess to kick us off, do you want to kind of like describe what it is that you've been experiencing? And we'll go from there.
Yeah. So, kind of what I've been experiencing. I'm an author. I'm a writer. But I'm not writing as much as I need to. I'm not completing as many projects as I need to, mainly because my personal projects get to a point in my head and in the actual draft where I pretty much freeze up and I stop and I get to overthinking either about the plot, which I think I overthink it as a form of self-sabotage so that I don't go forward and complete it. Because if I complete it and then it's out there, then it's subject to being judged. Like this is like someone will see the book, they read the book, like this is awful. Or someone will read the book and they know me and they're like, why would you write this? This is awful. You're awful.
Okay, so all the judgment from the strangers.
Yeah, the strangers and some of the people I know who don't actually matter, and I know that.
Yeah.
Not in like a mean way, they don't matter.
No, I know what you mean though. On the grand scheme, it's like not a factor. Yeah.
You're not doesn't actually matter.
Okay.
But yeah.
And so I guess, has there ever been a time before when you did not feel like you were kind of like coming against a stumbling block?
Back in college, when basically I was writing because it was fun and because it was like a way to play amidst all the actual academics.
Yeah.
So I got to write and play and explore characters and worlds and plots and whatever. So it was fun. And I would post it on a fan fiction site. When you post on a fan fiction site, you don't have to use your name.
Okay.
So it's a made up name. There's no picture or anything. Anonymous pretty much. So no one knew me, and if they found it, they wouldn't know that it was me.
Okay.
So it didn't matter.
Not associated. I love this. Okay. Not that I love that this is an issue, but I just like, yeah. Okay. Let me think of what other questions I have. So when, how do I think about this? So I guess outside of writing anonymously, has there ever been a time when you've like written and your name was actually on there where you didn't have that feeling of, oh my gosh, what if someone judges what I'm writing? Like, what are they going to think? That type of thing?
I'm published in 2 anthologies. One is under a pen name, and the other is under my name, but it's with a whole bunch of other ladies. So my name, it's my name, but then there's like everyone else's name. So it's kind of like lost in there.
Yeah.
Kind of like when I was in choir, you know, I'm singing, but it doesn't matter because all these other people are singing, so no one actually sees me.
That makes sense. Okay. I have lots of ideas, and I'm trying to like decide in my head what to start with first. So I guess something I would say is, do you self-identify as like a writer? Like, is it something that you're like, in how you carry yourself, the behaviors you typically find yourself doing, the thoughts that typically come in your head, or do you think that they are similar or like not as similar to someone who self-identifies as like, I'm a writer, I'm a good writer, or do those things like vary a little bit?
Like, do I identify as a writer? Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, cool. So awesome. Okay, give me like 0.5/10 seconds. So I'm trying to decide which one to start with. So there are some things that we can do where it's like, hey, if there's this like behavior that like is coming up repeatedly, to actually like switch into an identity. That's why I asked you that. But to me, and like let me know if I'm like completely off base, but it sounds a lot more kind of like a underlying like fear of being seen, or almost like the fear of like being judged for like what, like you being like just your full authentic self. Does that sound
Yeah. Yeah.
okay?
Sounds
Cool.
pretty accurate.
Okay, awesome. So I'm trying to decide what to start with. So I guess in I have, do you like, if you had to like name an emotion that you tie that to, what emotion would that be? Like what does that feel like for you?
Which thing?
Which one's bigger? Is it like the fear of being seen is bigger, or is it the well, being judged is kind of similar, but they're kind of different.
Probably fear of being seen.
Okay. And so when you think about the potential for you to be seen, what emotions are coming up for you? Like you just wrote something that like you literally put your like heart and soul into, and it's like your baby writing project, and you're about to publish this with your name on it. Like what feeling is coming up for you?
Fear, some hesitation.
Okay. Cool. So have you ever done like, have you heard of timeline techniques?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, cool. No worries. Okay. So pretty much what it is I will like walk you through it, but the whole basis of it is that pretty much for any, when you think of like limiting, we talk about limiting beliefs a lot. Technically, limiting beliefs are never a source of anything. They're actually a reaction. So at some point in time, we had to have made a decision to pretty much decide to believe something. And it could have been like people around us kind of like sold us a story. It could be as small as like when I was little, I told someone I wanted to be an author and they were like, you can't even spell. Like it could be like the most like, you know what I mean? Like something that's like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But in like our subconscious minds, when we have like an action we're taking, and it sounds like you have like very clear goals of, hey, I want to actually like fully step out into like writing, and like this kind of like this writer's block is coming up, that there's something that's underneath that is associating to some type of negative experience that's probably not even like a conscious thought that you're thinking of, and it's so instant that you're like already getting blocked before you even start. So these are all pretty much like, all I can say is that all the answers that you are going to give me will probably not even make logical sense to you. All I can say is go with your gut reaction, because like your instant answer is going to be the right answer. Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first what we're going to do,
try not to think about it too hard.
don't think about it. Because if you're thinking, you're going into your conscious mind. And I literally just want the answer that's like, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. But to start off with, what I'm going to do is we're going to go into like discovering your timeline. So this is kind of like a visual exercise. Some people see it like, I don't know how visual you are when you close your eyes or whatever, but some people can like see it. Some people it's just like, oh, okay, I kind of get an idea. Whatever works, there's no wrong. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and have you close your eyes. Cool. I have a feeling if I were to ask your unconscious mind, where is your future and where is your past, that you'd point in a certain direction, like front to back or side to side or up and down, or in some direction in relation to your body. Now, it's not your conscious, logical, thought out answer that I want. It's your natural, unconscious answer I want, your first impulse. So if I were to ask your unconscious mind, where is your future? What direction would you point? Good. And where is your past? Notice these directions imply a line. So what I'd like you to do now is just go ahead, keeping your eyes closed, and think about that timeline that you just identified. And now when I say timeline, I don't only mean something you see, because in a moment, I'm going to ask you to float above it. And by float, I mean as sound waves float on wind, as you might float in a pool or a bathtub. However you imagine your timeline is just perfect because it's yours. So go ahead now and just float above your timeline, making sure to look through your own eyes instead of seeing your own self floating. Now stay up above your timeline, and I'd like you to turn around and face the past. Just turn so you're facing the past and just float back into the past. At the unconscious level, there is no concept of time. So your unconscious can take as little time as it likes to get you there. You can take as much or as little time as you like, and just go ahead and float right back into the past as far as you'd like. And give me a nod when you're there. Good. Now go ahead and turn around back towards now, facing the future, and just go ahead and float right out into the future. Remember, at the unconscious level, there is no concept of time. So you can take as much or as little time as you'd like. Just go ahead and float right into the future as far as you'd like. And give me a nod when you're there. Good. Now turn around and face now. So you're facing back into the past. And now I want you to float way up into the air. In fact, float so high that your entire timeline seems to only be an inch long. And when you're there, just go ahead and float all the way back down to now. Just float right back down into now. Come back into the room and open your eyes whenever you're ready.
That was weird.
How was it?
That is kind of weird.
How did it feel though? Could you like see your timeline?
Saw pieces, yeah.
Cool. Okay, awesome. So now what we're gonna do is pretty much like that was just the hey, let's like get you familiar with it, and now we're gonna do the part that's like the actual thing. So I'm going to do a couple things. So the first thing that I would like to do is actually get rid of the limiting decision, the one where you have fear to be seen, where there has been some negative association with being seen. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and also you've probably noticed that the language is like worded really strangely. It's intentional. It's kind of like hypnotic patterns in a sense, just to be able to like get through your conscious mind. So full disclosure, I should have said that first. All right, go ahead and close your eyes one more time. Okay, is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to release the limiting decision of being afraid to be seen today, and for you to be consciously aware of it now?
Yes.
Awesome. So if it's okay, go ahead and ask your unconscious mind, what is the root cause of this fear of being seen? Which, when disconnected, will cause that fear to totally disappear. If you were to know, was it before, during, or after birth?
After.
Awesome. And if you were to know, what age was it?
5.
So just go ahead now and get in touch with your timeline. Float above your timeline so that you're above the moment of now and above all the memories on the timeline, and turn around and face that past. Staying well above all the memories, go ahead and float back into the past so you're above that event that happened when you were 5. And when you get there, just notice the event and give me a nod. So floating there directly over the event and looking down on it, are there any negative emotions present down there?
With me or other people?
With you?
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and floating there right over the event and looking down on it, and just ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from this event. The learning of which will allow you to let go of that negative emotion associated with the fear of being seen easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve these learnings so that if it needs them in the future, they will be there to protect you, to help you make good choices, to serve you. You may get learnings consciously, or you may just get an indication that you got them. When you got the learnings now, please let me know what they are. And make sure that the learnings are positive, future oriented, and about you.
There is a time and a place for me to be seen.
Beautiful. What else?
Not sure.
Awesome. So go ahead and float right back before the event and above the event. And go ahead and face the future so that the event is right in front of you, but down below. So you're hovering right in front of it and it's down below you. Now ask yourself, where is that old emotion that used to be associated with the fear of being seen? Is it there or is it just gone now?
I don't think I feel it.
Awesome. So then staying over that point, go ahead and ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from this event. The learning of which will allow you to let go of that decision, that fear of being seen easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if it needs them in the future, they will always be there to protect you, to help you make good choices, and to serve you. When you've got the learnings now, please let me know.
It's okay to be sensitive to what people say, but you get to choose what you think about it.
Beautiful. Anything else?
I don't know.
That's okay. Now go ahead and float back right before the event, like well before the event and above the event. Turn around to face the future. So you're before the event and any of the chain of events that led up to it. And ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from this event, which will allow you to let go of the decision, that fear of being seen, and to let go of any negative emotions around it easily and effortlessly. And ask yourself, now, where is that old decision? Is it there or is it just gone now?
I think it's gone.
Awesome. Now float right down into the event so that you're looking through your own eyes. Now check on that decision. Is it there or is it just gone now?
It's gone.
Good. So go back so you're well before the event and the above the event, and just assess how that event has changed. Now come back to now over your timeline only as quickly as you can stop at 3 events along your timeline where, had you never made that limiting decision, you would have had so much more opportunity. Stop and notice these 3 events and watch as they reevaluate themselves in light of these new choices and opportunities. Stop at each event before the event and preserve the learnings and let go of the decision and any negative emotions all the way back to now. Remember, at the unconscious level, time is experienced differently. So your unconscious can take as little time as it wants. Just let go of that old decision all the way back to now. And when you get to now, go ahead and float down into now and come back into the room. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Hello. I don't know why, but your face just made me want to laugh. How are you feeling?
I feel okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what I want you to do now is just think about, how do you feel about that old decision? Like that fear that you had of being afraid to be seen.
How do I feel about it now?
Mm-hmm.
Poor baby Christy.
Yeah. Cool.
I'll say
Okay.
that.
Okay, so one more thing just to like make sure that it worked well. So go ahead and close your eyes one more time. All right. I want you to go out to a time in the future, which, if it had happened in the past, that old decision of being afraid to be seen would have affected you. And notice how it's different now. And notice how many more choices and how much more opportunity you have. Good. Now come back to now. You can open your eyes. How do you feel?
I feel fine.
Cool. When you think about writing, what's coming up for you?
like I have some notes that I need to write up. Anticipation.
That's
I
good.
want to do it.
Yeah.
Like it's like the ideas are good.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do one last thing because I think that it'll like solidify this whole thing, and it's also like one of my favorites. I have lots of favorites, but this happens to be one of my favorites. So, okay, what I'm gonna do, it's like one of the like really like fun, inspiring ones. Like sometimes the techniques are like literally meant to like help change a belief, a thought, a pattern, right? Like that's what we just did. But like I really love the ones that are also like future based, where like, you know, when you think about like hypnosis is a big one for future based. It just takes a while. So I don't want to like spend all of your evening. It just takes longer because you have to do like things beforehand. But this one, it's like using the same technique that we used just now, where it's like based on your timeline. But I'm going to ask you to do something a little bit different. So a second ago, when we first started, I asked you about like what your issues were. Like, hey, what's coming up for you? What are you not liking? That type of thing. But what I want you to do now is I want you to think about a goal that you have in terms of your writing. And don't worry about having it all fleshed out because I'm going to like ask you some questions. But if you had a goal, what would it be?
Earn full-time income so I can quit my job.
Okay. By when?
Tomorrow.
Is that realistic for you?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So, what is a realistic one for you? Like, what is something that you think is achievable?
$12 to 18 months, maybe.
Okay.
If I did the stuff that I know I'm actually supposed to do.
Okay. And you believe that this is possible?
Yes.
Awesome. And does that goal feel safe for you?
It does. I mean, it's been a goal for a while, but I could have done it. It's just, that block.
Yeah. Okay. And so you said 12 to 8 months. So like, give me a date.
What is it, September? April of 2023, if not sooner.
Cool. As I knock everything over. Okay. This is the fun part. So I'm going to be writing frivolously as you like talk. Okay. So what I want you to think about is when you think about this goal, it's April 2023. You are making your full-time income from, is it from writing or other stuff?
From writing's part of it, several different income streams. So writing, freelance writing, courses, merchandise, potentially YouTube with the income from that.
Yeah.
Did I say affiliate stuff? Affiliate marketing.
Okay.
But I have to. A part of the courses will be about writing and books. So I can't really do the courses, even though I have 4. I have 4 planned out, but I don't feel right actually doing them with not having published my own books yet.
Okay.
And I keep blocking myself by not publishing the book.
Okay.
So that's like, I feel like once a book is published, then I'll be able to actually record and do the course videos without feeling all weird about it.
And when you think about April 2023, do you think that you'll have your book published and you'll be able to do your courses by then in order to get to your goal?
I think by then I'd have at least 4 published.
Sweet. I love it. 4 books. All right. So when you think about that goal, what is the very last thing that is going to happen right before you have like attained that goal? Like, I guess what I'm looking for is right before that moment where you're like, this goal is achieved. Like, what has to happen right before that? So an example I'll give, at least like something that I've used before, is like I've worked with people who set like income goals, right? Where they're like, okay, I'm going to enroll this many people in my program. And I'm like, okay, cool. What's the last thing that's going to happen before that happens? And they're like, my phone notification is going to go off and it's going to be like the email that the 5th person enrolled or whatever. So like right before your goal is attained, when you have that moment where you're like, I did it, what has to happen? And there's no wrong answer either.
I guess I'd have to look at my phone, open up my banking app, and actually see that the money's there. Like, I actually, like, oh, there's no reason to stay at this job anymore. I'm out.
I'm out of here. Okay. Okay, cool. And so what do you see in that moment? You're looking at your phone. Like, where are you?
Like, what am I seeing on my phone?
No, just like what's around you. Like, what are you seeing? I want to know like what you see, what you're hearing, what you're feeling. Like, I want to get a good understanding of like what exactly is happening in that moment.
Okay, specifically in this moment, in the ideal version, I'm at this coffee shop. It's really cute. They're playing fun music. I'm sitting there with my computer already because I got off early because it's a Friday. And I look at my phone and I see that there's enough money in here for me to safely quit this job and be pretty confident that I'm going to continue to make money without this full-time job. And I decide right there, sitting at the table, I'm not going to work Monday.
Yeah. And who's around you?
Then I get more coffee.
Okay. And who's around you?
I'm just by myself.
Okay. And what sounds are you hearing?
Loud coffee machine. Probably music that is now considered classic from the early 2000s.
You said
probably is considered a classic.
Non-classical music.
No, like it's considered like music from 20 years ago.
Okay, cool. I know, but it's like it doesn't feel that old. Okay. Okay, so you hear music. What type of music are you hearing?
Probably Alicia Keys.
Okay. And what do you feel? Like you just opened that app?
Shock.
You just saw it? Okay. Shocked. What else?
Excited. Happy.
Beautiful. And so is there anything else that you will see when you've achieved this? Is there anything else happening around you?
Notifications in my email showing that people are buying my stuff.
Is there a sound that those notifications make?
No, I don't like notification sounds, so it's muted.
It's okay. My phone's, I literally don't even know what my ringtone sounds like. It's never on.
I don't either. Like I was like, oh, that's mine. I had no idea.
Turn it off. Okay, so I'm gonna read this back to you and like what I am hearing. Oh, also, like, what are you wearing in this coffee shop after work?
I am wearing my little Madewell boots and a green dress with the sleeves, and it's like loose and it's like comfortable, and little gold earrings, my gold rings. My hair is probably in twists.
Mm-hmm.
um, it's likely too hot to be wearing tights, so no tights.
Awesome.
Mississippi Aprils are hot.
I believe you. Every time I write Mississippi, I like sing it in my head. Okay, anyways. um, okay, awesome. So I'm gonna like summarize what I heard you say. And you can tell me like, hey, no, I didn't say that. Okay, so it's now April 2023, and you are sitting in this coffee shop. You got off work early, so you are in this coffee shop, you're sitting down, it's Friday, and you hear the sound, or you don't hear the sound, you just see the like, notification pop up on your phone, and it's email, and you check it, and you're just seeing all these clients that are buying your stuff. And then you decide to go ahead and you're checking this banking app. And on this banking app, you realize, like, whoa, I have enough money to not go to work. And in that moment, you're feeling super shocked, you're feeling super excited, super happy. You can hear Alicia Keys playing in the background, all the loud copy machines around you. You're all by yourself. You're in this green dress with like comfy sleeves, super comfortable with your gold earrings, gold ring, your hair's up in twists, and no leggings. Does that sound right?
Sounds about right.
Did I miss anything?
The Madewell boots.
Maybell?
Madewell.
Madewell.
Yes, I
Cool.
love their stuff.
Never heard of it, so I'm gonna Google it after this.
Yep,
Okay.
it's spelled how it sounds.
Cool. I love it. All right. So I want you to take that picture and I want you to see it as if you're looking through your own eyes.
My fingernail polish is still chipped.
Okay. Oh, that's funny. I'll add that in. Okay. Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes. Okay, cool. So I want you to take this picture that is more like a movie than a picture, that has sound and feelings, and you can see it. And I want you to take it, and when you see this picture, I want you to like imagine that there's this knob underneath it, kind of like those old school television sets. And this knob just really allows you to shift the video in whatever way feels best for you. So if you turn that video black and white, does that make you want it more, or if it's in color?
Think color.
Awesome. And so if you have it really close to you, super near, does that make you want it more if it's far away?
Close.
Awesome. And make it bright. Does that make you want it more? Does it seem more real then, or if it's really dim? So bright or dim?
Kind of dim.
Awesome. Go ahead and lock that in. And the location, is it better if you move it to the middle or to the side, or keep it in front? What makes it more desirable?
In the middle.
Awesome. Go ahead and lock it in there. And what about if you make it bigger? Does that make it more real or smaller?
Bigger.
Awesome. And if you keep it as a movie, does that make it more desirable or if you make it still?
It's kind of like a still frame, but the sound is still going.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and lock that in. And what about the sounds? If you move the location of the sound to around you, to the side, behind you, or in front, what makes you want it more?
Sides.
Awesome. Go ahead and keep it on the side, lock it in. And is it loud or soft? Let's see.
Soft.
Awesome. Go ahead and lock that in as well. And the feelings that you're feeling, super like shocked, excited, and happy, what's the size of those that makes you want it more? Like how big is that emotion?
They're kind of small.
Okay. Go ahead and lock that in. And how intense is the emotion?
Kind of intense.
Okay. Go ahead and lock that in. You know the sound that a master lock makes? Go ahead and lock that into place and just preserve every single thing that made you want it more. So having it in color, super close to you, just a little bit dim, located right in front of you, a little bit bigger, with the sounds coming from the side of you, a little bit soft, and the size of your feelings are a little bit small but intense. Like you're feeling really excited, really happy, and really shocked. And I want you to take that picture and take it right back above your timeline. And what I want you to do is to breathe 4 energizing breaths into this image that you have. And as you breathe these 4 breaths, just notice how you are bringing intention into this goal that you have. And you can think of your breath as actually like life's breath into that goal and that intention that you have. And as you complete these 4 breaths, just go ahead and float above the timeline, taking that image with you out into the future. And I want you to take that image all the way out to April 2023. And I want you to drop that picture right into your timeline on April 2023. And on this day, on April 2023, you got off of work early and you went to this coffee shop. And around you, you hear Alicia Keys playing. There's a super loud coffee machine, and you're all by yourself. You're wearing this green dress with sleeves, Madewell boots, your hair's in a twist, you have these gold earrings and gold rings on. And you sit there and you decide to just take a look at your email. And when you take a look, you're just seeing these notifications come in, these people who decided to buy your course. And you think, okay, well, let me go ahead and go over to this banking app and just see what it looks like. And as you go to open this banking app, you notice that chipped nail polish. And when you open it, you see that you have enough money to not even go to work on Monday. And you're shocked, completely shocked, and also excited at the same time, and super happy. And you realize that all the work that you've done to get to this point, the writing, the freelance writing, the course, the merchandise, your YouTube page, all the affiliate marketing, and the books that you've written have gotten you to this point where you can be confident and you know that you make enough to leave your job and that you get to set your own rules. And everything that used to hold you back in the past is all this long, long story that happened so long ago. And you realize while you're in this coffee shop where all these sounds are happening around you that you just had a huge pivotal moment happen. Because this is a moment that you've been waiting for over a year, for years. And I want you to just notice as you see those things, as you hear everything that's around you in this moment, just take it all in. Awesome. And I want you to go ahead and just start to float up above that event where you dropped it in your timeline. And from this future point back to now, just look at your future. Everything has changed now that you achieved your goal. So come back over now, over your timeline, and float right back into now. Come back into the room and open your eyes whenever you're ready. Welcome back.
It's so weird.
I know, it's pretty cool, right? It's like one of my favorites. Every time I'm just like, what? Like, anyways, okay, cool. So now think about your goal and how do you feel about it now?
I don't know if I feel something or if I think I'm feeling something.
Okay.
I feel good about it.
Cool.
I feel positive about it. I feel like that's just something I need to walk through space and time to get to at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. And you like know your path there, right? So it's literally like once you like have like put that fear that like you started with of like I just don't even like I don't want to be seen for the things that you're writing, which are probably amazing. I've never read them, but like you obviously care about it a lot. And it's literally just like going through those things. And also it's like you getting there is also going to be like a huge testament to other people around you who literally are probably in the exact same position thinking that like, okay, I've set this goal and I like keep moving it out and it's just like taking these steps to get there. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So I want you to close your eyes. Last time, promise. So go out to a time in the future, which if it had happened in the past, maybe your goal seemed a little scary or too big, like just not really achievable. And it really made you feel some type of way. How is that different now?
No stress, no worry.
Okay, awesome. You can open your eyes. That's so cool. It's so weird and cool. I know.
Yeah, like that just happened.
Do you have any like questions or thoughts? I didn't even look and see if like people had been posting questions at all.
Are there people here? I don't know. I wasn't looking either. That's your job. You're the hostess.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Well, how are you feeling about it?
Like how do I get back to this space? I'm kind of like I'm like in college mindset. Like I could probably stay up till 12.
You're like, how do I come back here often?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what it is.
So, I mean, to be honest, so I guess like, are you asking in terms of just like things that you can do on your own, or like
Yeah. Like, if, because this, how I feel right now reminds me of how I used to feel when I was in college, where there was no stress, there was no worry. Like, oh, I have this scene in my head, let me just go ahead and write that and
mm-hmm.
get it out. And just work on stuff piece by piece, because, you don't write a book in one sitting all the way
Right.
through.
Yeah.
And I used to write a lot, and I would just do pieces here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And this feels like that.
That's amazing. I love that. So I will say that pretty much, okay, I'm gonna answer this two ways, I guess. So the first thing that's really big is awareness, right? So like when we like before we got live, I like asked you a couple questions just to get an idea of like what you were going through today. I think we talked like 5 minutes maybe. And something that I noted, like this comes up a lot, and it can be like you can probably talk to a friend or whatever, and like it's about really getting clear on what it is that's actually your real blocker, pretty much. Because it started with like, hey, I'm having writer's block. But writer's block is really just a symptom of something else.
Yes, it
Right?
is.
Like that's not
And
actually
I
like
know that.
that's not a real problem. Not that I would ever say that, right? Like I was just like, oh, okay, like tell me more.
It's true though.
Like it's not a real problem. And so it's like I'm just like, okay, like I think like okay, I wrote notes. So like you started and you were like, hey, I'm having writer's block. I'm overthinking. I was like, oh, okay. And you're like, yeah, I can't remember what you said, but you were like, yeah, I sit down and like the ideas just don't flow. So you're like still talking about something that's like you're this is just me analyzing. So this is like kind of how I see things. But you're talking about something that's like the consequence. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So does this happen all the time, or has there been a time that's like I'm trying to understand like what is it that's causing your trigger? So like if you wanted to do something like this, like without like obviously these are techniques that are like more in depth to like just like let's go in there and like get it. But like if you were just like on your own, like pondering, like, hey, like what's my actual problem? Because a lot of the time it's that like people are frequently trying to solve a problem that's really only a symptom. And then like they may band-aid that symptom or like try and brute force their way through that symptom. Like you might be like, I'm just gonna sit here and write. And maybe like while you're writing, your writing is not even the quality that it could be, because like in the back of your mind, you're actually thinking like, okay, well maybe if I don't give my all to this writing and someone decides to judge it, then I know that I didn't put my best out here, so I'm not going to be personally offended. Like it's like real like deep stuff, right? That like
Yeah.
it may not
Like
even
it's a protective layer.
it's a protective layer. And so it's like I guess I've personally never been able to work through a lot of it on my own. It's always like taking another person. But I also know that what the key is to a lot of this is like getting that awareness of like what really is going on. And a lot of that starts with like, if you think about any problem that you're having, if you can think about a time when this wasn't a problem for you and you can actually like self assess the difference between it, that would be a great starting point. But sometimes it's just really hard to do ourselves because we're so close to ourselves, you know, like
Yes.
it's just like, oh man, but no, like it's this thing, like it's just it is, I don't know. Like I know these techniques and like I've had people do them on me as well. And every time I'm just like, oh, I didn't even like really realize that. And I like, you know, it's just kind of how it works. But I would say awareness first, above all. And I would think of it like if you notice, like I tend to focus a lot more on like what are you feeling? What are your thoughts? Like what beliefs are coming up for you? Because like those are better indications of what's really going on than like the actual thing that's happening. And so
Like
it's
your
like
reaction, your response.
mhm. So it's like when you like literally it could be anything. So yours was like, hey, I have writer's block. That was your thing that was happening. But like that's almost like irrelevant in the grand scheme of it. It's really like, what are your thoughts? What are your beliefs? What are the decisions you've made to get here? And like what do you believe to be true? And that no matter what your problem is, once you can get clear on that and then like make shifts, then it's something that's really easy to change.
Okay.
So if you wanted to do something by yourself, I don't know if you've ever heard of tapping before. I was actually like debating in my mind. I was like, I kind of want to tap with you, but then like I really want to do this too. Like, so I was kind of like, ooh, teetering at the beginning. But there's tons of videos on tapping. My only suggestion that I would have, and this is just based on things I've seen, is like I would just strongly advise against using YouTube for hypnosis because I've seen because there's been a lot of people who like depending how they were trained, like your mind processes things in a very specific way. So the language you use, the pattern you use actually makes quite a difference in its effectiveness and also like how it could shift your beliefs and stuff. But I would say like stay away from that. But if you can do something like tapping, that's really amazing because in the moment, like when you first started, you had a lot of emotional things that came up. It was like, hey, I might feel judged. I feel awful. They're going to read it. What do they think? It's like not good. All of those things. Those are things that tapping is really amazing for. And anyone can tap. Like it's literally just based on your own energy meridians. And you can literally like, I can go into a whole thing about it. Maybe I'll post some more about it. But like it's something that's really easy. Like I tap on a regular basis and there's like no wrong way to really do it other than like a couple things. Maybe I'll make a video about this in the group.
Make a video about this.
Okay. Because that's what I would recommend. That's like one of the things. Because a lot of these are like, this is specific, right? Where it's like, okay, like I know exactly what you're dealing with, but it's all comes back to the same issue at the end. It's all about like, how is it? Like, what are you associating to get to this outcome that you don't really like? And it's all about your programming and stuff. Not to nerd out fully, but that is what it is.
I mean, you just kind of like 2/3 nerded out.
Only 2/3, not fully or anything. We're
Yeah.
not 100%. What other questions do you have?
Um, I don't know. I think I'm good.
Okay, cool. Let me see. I don't know if anyone posted anything because I'm literally not checking. So if y'all are posting questions, please just put them in the chat and tomorrow's Q&A anyways. And so I will like address questions there. I actually, hold on, let me see. Oh, I hear myself. No. Okay.
That's always awful.
Oh,
Is that how I
it's like
sound?
the feeling. You're like, no, I don't want to hear myself. Like,
I'm so
anyway,
sorry to everyone who's ever heard me.
you're fine. It's fine. But yeah. So, anyways, there's Q&A tomorrow. If y'all are interested in these, I love these sessions because this is so representative of what a real session looks like. Even though like real sessions are longer than this, typically like 60 to 90 minutes. But it's literally like this. Like I don't have a plan, huh?
This one's almost 60.
I know it's almost 60, isn't it? But like it's like, you get to like go deep and have a recording and all of that stuff, which is recorded too. So you can totally come back to this as well if you're ever feeling like it. And like, yeah, actually that's a really good idea. You can come back to this and you could instead like skip the beginning because you don't actually have to rediscover your timeline after you've done it one time. So I would skip to the part where I had started talking about like releasing a limiting decision. And even though I said it specific to this like fear that you're having, you could always think of something else and like kind of use that. So I guess that's actually a good way that the self-identification could be used. And then for your goal part of it, like you can almost like, hey, like get to the part of like, okay, like you're just articulating your goal and kind of like I self do timelines sometimes on myself. There's only like a couple things that like I guess I don't know. I've nerded out on this fully, so I don't know if I'd advise someone to do that. But like, you can listen to this again if you're ever feeling like I don't really feel like that goal's like doesn't feel as real right now, and you can like listen to this over and over because it's like for you anyway. So
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, that's all I got. Unless you have something.
I got nothing except for thank you.
Oh, thanks for joining me. I'm so excited. I love these.
Yeah, it was fun. It was very interesting.
Right? Okay, cool. I'm going to stop the live stream. Hold on.